Okay, we've got another Singapore maths question here, and I wanted to do it because it's quite a tricky, well, it's easy in one way, but it's quite tricky in another way. So I thought it was worth having a look at. All right, George had $195 in his money box. The value of the $2 notes to the value of the $5 notes to the value of the $10 notes in the money box was in the ratio of 2 to 5 to 6. He then took out a third of his $10 notes, exchanged them for $2 notes and $5 notes, and placed them back in his money box. He found that the number of $2 notes was one more than the number of $5 notes in his money box, and were asked to find the total number of notes in his money box after the exchange. Now, the reason for my note of caution, I hope you can see, is firstly um, we've we're talking about objects that have numerals as labels, okay, and we're also talking about values, and we're then also talking about ratios. I mean, this is the ratio of the value of the notes, but this also refers to the $2 notes. This actually refers to the $5 notes. This refers to the $10 notes. We then move into talking about the number of notes. So there's considerable scope for going wrong here. But hopefully, if you keep checking your information and you draw it well and in a way that makes sense, then you will stay on track. Okay, so how are we going to draw this? Well, we're going to draw bars to represent the twos, and I'm going to write twos. These are the $2 notes, the fives, and the tens. Okay, because there's this potential for confusion, I want to make sure that I give the clear labels here. And actually, I'm also going to put that my ratio here, just to remind me, I often do that when I've got a ratio like this. It's 2 to 5 to 6, 2 to 5 to 6. Okay, so what does that mean? Well, that means I am going to draw this bar. I'm going to give it two parts, or some people call them units. All right, so that's two parts. And this is going to be 5 parts. And here we have, checking back there, 6 parts. Okay, so remember, this is representing the value, the ratio in terms of value. All right, value. What else? Have we captured all of the information? Not quite, because we also know the value of the whole model, which is 195. Okay, so the value of this whole model, I'm going to change color for fun. All right, the value of this whole model is 195. So what can we do with this information then? Well, we have equal parts. We have 6 plus 5 plus 2. That gives us 13 parts altogether, which means we can calculate the value of each of these parts. So 195 divided by 13 gives us 15. Okay, so each of these parts has a value of 15. All right, I don't have to write it in, but I will, because it can make it easier to understand what's going on. Okay, so all of these parts has a value of $15. I'm not writing in the dollar sign because I find it just tends to get confusing. I write it in sometimes just that I'm, checking what's going on. So all of these refer to $15. What now it's going to be useful. We have to work out, we're going to transition into looking at the number of notes. So we need to figure that out. But first, let's look at the total value then. So because we need that to work out the notes. So what do we have here? We have a total value of 30, all right, 15 times 2. Here we have 15 times 5, so we have a total value of 75. And here we have 15 times 6, so we have a total value of 90. So how many notes does this represent? Let's have a look. So $30, okay, divided by $2 notes, okay, is going to give us 15 notes. All right. $75 divided by into $5 notes also gives us 15 notes. And $90 divided into tens gives us 9 notes. Okay, so these are the notes that we have: 15, 15, and 9. Okay, so we're ready then to move on to this second section. So I'm all ready. He then took out a third of his $10 notes and exchanged them for $2 notes and $5 notes. Okay, so what is a third of his $10 notes? Well, he has 9 notes, all right, so 1/3 of 9 gives us 3 notes, okay? And we know that he's going to exchange these 3 $10 notes. He's going to exchange them for $2 notes and $5 notes. So we need to know this value. So these 3 notes are equal to $30 in value. So what we're going to do is think about the ways that we could exchange $30, how we could partition $30 into $5 and $2 notes. Okay, so let's do this up here. So we've got 2s and we've got 5s. All right, so these are the 2 notes. These are the 2 notes that we could types of notes that we could exchange our $30 into. Okay, so we've got $30. Now, let's say we got one $5 note. We would notice that we would be left with $25, and we cannot exchange $25 into $2 notes without having something left over. So what you'll notice very quickly is you have to have an even number of $5 notes. So let's start with 2. So if we have 2 $5 notes, that has a value of $10. Okay, so that has a value of 10, which means we've got a total value of 30 to make up. That means we need $20 in 2s, which is going to be 10. Okay. Is that what we want? Right. If we go ahead, we see that he found that the number of $2 notes was 1 more than the number of $5 notes in his money box. And he starts off with the same number of notes. So if we add 10, that's going to be 25. If we add 2, that's going to be 17. That's not the situation that we want. So let's check. Let's do this. Let's imagine we then get 4 $5 notes. That gives us a value of 20, leaving us a value of 10 on this side to exchange into $2 notes. And we are then going to have 5 $2 notes. And that is looking much more like it, isn't it? Because if we start off, in fact, what I'm going to do is there we go. And I'm just going to label that. So I've got some space. So this is the notes. And so if this is what I think we're doing. We're exchanging our 3 $10 notes for 4 5s and 5 2s. So to this, we're going to add 5, which gives us 20 altogether. To the 15, the 15 $5 notes, we're going to add 4 more, which gives us 19 notes. And well, what happened here? Well, here we started off with 9 notes, but what did we do? We took away 3 notes. So we subtract the 3 notes, and that's leaving us with 6 notes. I probably should have put that in earlier, but that's what we have. And here we can now calculate the total number of notes. So 20 plus 19 is 39, plus 6 gives us 45 notes. And that is my final answer, 45 notes. Okay, well, there we go. I hope that helps.